Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to our group presentation. We are Group Mellow. My name is Zhang Zekai, the leader of this group. And today our presentation will present our SWOT analysis. In this presentation, we will cover the concept of the SWOT analysis, its key components, and the implementation process, real-life applications, and the final is advantage and limitation. Okay, now let's start our presentation.
Hi everyone, today we will start with a quick introduction to the SWOT analysis we are using for our study. First, what exactly is the SWOT analysis? It's a strategic planning tool that evaluates for key factors, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and cheats. The best part is it helps us separate internal factors, strengths, and weaknesses from external factors, opportunities, and threats. That makes our decisions more informed and clear. In our project, we are using this framework to look at how socioeconomic study affects access to quality education. Now let's talk about where SWOT came from. It was developed by Albert Humphrey back in the 1960s. At first, it was only used for organizational and business planning, but over time, people started using it in many different fields like business management, education, and even social research. Today, SWOT is widely used to analyze the real-world problems, including inequality in education, which is exactly what we are focusing on there. So why are we using SWOT for this topic? First, it gives us a clear, structured way to analyze everything. It helps us spot both problems, weaknesses, and threats, and areas for improvement, strengths, and opportunities. Second, it supports us in building effective strategies and solutions. For our study, that means understanding how different socioeconomic backgrounds shape students' opportunities. And finally, this kind of analysis helps us work toward more equal access to education for everyone. That's the core goal of our work.
Hi, I will present the components of SWOT analysis, focused on strengths and weakness for our topic. First, let us talk about the strengths. One strength of this topic is that it is meaningful and easy to understand. Socioeconomic status clearly affects access to education in real life. It is not only theory, but something we can see in society every day. Because of this, the topic is relevant and suitable for discussion. For example, students from higher income families often have more learning support. They may study in private schools, attend tuition class, and receive better educational opportunities. These advantages can help students improve their academic performance. Another example is the study environment at home. Some students have their own room or a quiet place to study. This helps them focus better, complete homework, and prepare for exams without distraction. In addition, these students may receive more guidance from parents. Parents who are well educated may help with homework, give advice, and support academic planning. This support can increase student confidence and motivation. Technology is also an important advantage. Some students have personal laptops, tablets, and stable Wi-Fi connection. This helps them join online class, search for information, and complete assignments more easily. This became very important after COVID-19, when online learning became more common. Students with better device could continue learning smoothly. These examples show that it is a topic strong because it is realistic, and connected to daily life. Now let's move to weakness. One weakness of this topic is that it is broad. There are many factors involved, so it can be difficult to discuss in a focused way. For example, socioeconomic status includes income, parents' education, occupation, and living conditions. Because of this, it is sometimes difficult to decide which factor is the most important. Another weakness is that the meaning of quality education is not always clear. Some people think it means good exam results, while others think it includes teaching quality, critical thinking, and personal development. There are also cases where income is not the only reason for success. For example, a student from a low-income family may still perform well because of hard work, discipline, or teacher support. At the same time, some students from wealthy families may not perform well because they lack focus, motivation, or interest in study. This shows that education success is more complex than one factor only. Another weakness is that some arguments may sound too general without clear examples. Therefore, good explanation and examples are necessary when discussing this topic. In conclusion, the strengths of this topic are that it is meaningful, realistic, and easy to understand. The weaknesses are that it is broad, complex, and sometimes difficult to define clearly. Therefore, clear structure and examples are important when explaining this issue. That's all. Thank you.
Next, I will focus on two components of the SWOT analysis, which are opportunities and threats. First, let's look at opportunities. Opportunities refer to external factors that can create positive outcomes and improve a situation. In education, opportunities help students overcome limitations and achieve better academic results. There are many opportunities we can consider. One important opportunity comes from the government. Governments can provide financial support such as scholarships, subsidies, and student loans. These are very important for students who can't afford education. For example, in Malaysia, many students depend on PTP loans to continue their university studies. This clearly shows how financial support can increase access to higher education. In addition, governments can also invest in for infrastructure, especially in rural areas. By improving facilities, more students can enjoy equal access to quality education. Next, schools themselves also play an important role. Schools can improve facilities such as computer labs, internet access, and learning materials. Some schools even allow students to borrow devices, which is very helpful for those who can't afford them. Teachers can also use inclusive teaching methods so that students from different backgrounds can understand lessons better. Another major opportunity is technology. Today, platforms like Google Classroom, Zoom, and YouTube allow students to learn anytime and anywhere. This flexibility is very important because students can learn at their own pace. They can repeat the lessons if needed. They can do self-learning. This is very especially helpful for students who need more time to understand certain topics. Lastly, communities also contribute to education. For example, free tuition classes, donation programs, mentoring activities, some NGOs provide free classes for low-income students, especially before exam. All those efforts show that when governments, schools, technology, and communities work together, education can improve significantly. Now let's move to threats. Threats refer to external challenges or risks that may negatively affect the outcome. Even though there are many opportunities, there are still several serious threats. First, there is a lack of accurate data, especially in rural or less developed areas. Without a reliable data, it is difficult to make correct decisions. Design effective policies. Second, this topic can be sensitive. Education inequality is a complex issue, and people may have different opinions based on their own experiences. This can make discussions more subjective, less content. Another major threat is economic problems. When the cost of living increases, families may struggle to pay for books, transportation, uniforms, internet access. In more serious situations, students may even stop studying and start working, which affects their future opportunities. In addition, sometimes government support does not reach the right people. This may happen because application processes are too complicated, requirements are too strict, or there is poor management of the funds. As a result, the support becomes less effective. Finally, social factors also play a role. In some families, education may not be seen as important. If parents did not complete schools, they may not strongly encourage their children to study. This can reduce students' motivation. Also, differences in education systems across countries make it difficult to apply the same solution everywhere.
Okay, now I will explain the first step in the implementing SWOT analysis, which is identify the goal or issue being studied. Before starting a SWOT analysis, we must clearly know what we want to analyze. If the objective is unclear, the analysis can easily become too broad or confusing. Abroad. Let me make an example. If a company simply say they want to improve their business, that is too general. They need to know whether they want to improve the sales, customer satisfaction, or marketing performance. Another important point is mounting focus. A clear direction helps ensure that all findings remain relevant to the main issue. So, overall, identifying the goal is the foundation of the entire SWOT analysis process. Okay. Next, I will explain the second step of the process of implementing SWOT analysis, which is getting the internal and external information. Before doing a SWOT analysis, we need to collect the current and reliable information. Internal information usually includes things like resource, skills, experience, and capabilities. Those help us identify the strengths and the weakness. For example, for a small coffee business, good customer service and a unique food quality can be considered strengths, while limited budget or lack of the workers may become the weakness. At the same time, we also need to study external information such as market trends, customer preference, government policies, and the competition. These external facts may create the opportunity or the threats. For example, food delivery apps like GrabFood and FoodPanda can create a new business opportunity. However, rising food price and strong competition from other coffee can become threats. Another important point is using the reliable and updated source. Information from surveys, reports, customer feedback, and research can make the analysis more accurate and useful. So, overall, getting the internal and the external information is very important because it helps improve the decision making and make the SWOT analysis more effective. Okay, let me expand the third step in the implementing SWOT analysis, which is organizing SWOT factors. After collecting all the information, we need to organize the finding into our categories, or into our four categories: strengths, weakness, opportunities, and traits. This helps make the analysis clear and easier to understand. For example, if we use smartphone company as an example, a strong brand reputation and advanced technology can be categorized as a strength. High product price may become the weakness. At the same time, increasing global demand for the smartphone can be considered an opportunity, while strong competition from other brands become the threat. Another important point is separating internal and external factors. Internal factors are the things the company can control, like product quality or the employee skills. External factors are the things outside their control, such as market trends or the economic condition. We also need to focus on the most important point instead of listing too many unnecessary details. A clear and structured presentation helps improve the communication and the decision making. So overall, organizing SWOT factors properly help people understanding the situation more clearly and develop better strategies. Yes. Okay, now I will expand the fourth step in implementing SWOT analysis, which is strategy formulation. After identifying all the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits, the next step is develop a suitable and strategies based on these factors. The first one is SO strategy, which means using the strengths to take advantage of opportunities. For example, if company has strong technology and there is a growth in online demand, the company can expand its online business on increasing profit to increasing profit. The second one is ST strategy. This means using the strengths to reduce the external threats. For instance, a company with a strong brand reputation can remain competitive even when facing many competitors in the market. The next one is WO strategy, which focuses on the improving weakness by using opportunities. For example, a small business with limited marketing experience can use social media platform to prove their products and at a lower cost. Yeah. Lastly, we have the WT strategy, which is about minimize the weakness and avoid the cheat. For example, if company has a limited budget during the economic downturn, they may reduce the unnecessary spending to lower the financial risk. So overall, strategy formulation is important because it helps turn SWOT analysis into the practical actions and better decision making. Okay, lastly, I will expand the final step in the implementing SWOT analysis, which is implementation and monitoring. After the strategy and the plan are planted, they must be put into actions. This includes assigning responsibilities, setting goals, and make sure everyone understands their role. For example, if a company wants to improve online sales, they may assign a team to manage social media promotion. At the same time, the result must be monitored continuously. This is important because a situation and the environment can change over time. For instance, customer preference or market trend may change, so the company may need to adjust the strategies. So overall, implementation and the monitoring helps ensure that SWOT strategy remain effective and achieve their objectives. Okay, that's all.
Now I will present its application of SWOT analysis in various fields. SWOT analysis helps individual and organization identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Its value used business, education, career planning, and project management to support better decision making. By analysis both internal and external factors, organization can better understanding this current situation and various suitable strategy for improvement. Because of the SWOT analysis considers of the simple but effectively strategy planning tools in the many real-life situations. Next. First is business and internal shape. SWOT analysis helps the company understanding its position in the market. For example, strengths might include strong brand reputation and sales works, where weaknesses may include limited capital or lack of experience. Business can also explore opportunities such as new computer demand and technology development, but this must consider areas like strong competition and economic changes. Through this analysis, companies are about to reduce the risks and make better business decisions before expanding the operation. Serious SWOT analysis helps the company improve its strategy and includes the changes of the long-term assessments. Okay, next. SWOT analysis is also useful in education and career development. School can evaluate the teaching system and the learning resources. Strategies include qualified teachers, where weaknesses may involve the unique analysis to affect activities around the system from the different socio-economic background. This situation shows the students from the different family backgrounds may experience different learning opportunities. Opportunities such as scholarship and online learning platforms help the students continue this education, but financial differences remain of changing for some time. Some students. This for SWOT analysis helps education institution identify problem learning and develop a better support strategy for students. Okay, next. Finally, SWOT analysis is useful in project and organization management. Manager can identify strengths such as teamwork and valuable resources, where weaknesses include limited time and budget. Organizations come from the stakeholder support and new technology, but theirs include technological and financial problems. This helps the organization prepare solution before problem, helps to improve the effectiveness of project planning. For example, a school including digital learning can use the SWOT analysis to plan them more efficiently and include the changing of the size. Overall, SWOT analysis helps the organization make clean, more strategy and more efficiently decision when important new projects.
Building on what we are covered so far, let's dive into strong innovation and practical tips for using SWOT analysis effectively. One of the most widely used storage twice, but one that works best when we understand how to use it rightly. First, let's start with why SWOT is so popular. It's simple and accessible. You don't need complex tools or advanced training to use it. Whether you are working on a team strategy or mapping a personal goal, it works for everyone, from individual to large organization. It also gives us a holistic view by combining internal factors, our strengths and weaknesses, and external ones, opportunities and threats. This helps us step back, see full picture, and spot key issues clearly. Most importantly, it turns observation into action. By mapping these four elements, we can build a practical plan that leverage our strengths, fact skills, and respond to what's happening around us. But SWOT isn't without its challenges, and these are important to keep in mind. First, it depends entirely on quality of your data. If your immersion is incomplete and outdated and inaccurate, the whole analysis will be swag and won't reflect the real situation. Second, it's highly subjective. Two people might look at the same factor and call it a strength or a weakness, or even neither, based on their own biases or perspective. This can lead to inconsistent and unreliable results. And finally, SWOT test every point equally. It doesn't practical the factors, so critical issues can get lost in a long list, making it hard to focus on what truly matters. The good news is these limitations are easy to address with a few simple adjustments. First, pair SWOT with complementary tools like puzzle analysis. This helps you dig deeper into external factors, reducing subjectivity and giving you a more complete view of the context. Secondly, use widely SWOT framework, rank each factor based on its importance, so you can focus on the issues that will actually move the needle, instead of treating every point the same. At the end of the day, combine SWOT with other methods. Turn is from a basic checklist into a powerful, actionable tools that deliver real value. With these tips in mind, we can use SWOT not just a routine exercise, but as strategical tools like driving better decisions.
So to wrap things up, our study shows that SWOT analysis is actually a really useful tool for understanding complex issues. It helps us clearly see the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. In our case, we looked at how socio-economic status affects students' access to good education. Basically, students from high-income families usually have better resources and support, while those from low-income backgrounds face more challenges. But the good thing is there are ways to improve this. Government, schools, and community can work together by offering financial support, improving faculties, and giving better access to technology. Of course, there are still challenges like economic instability and unique resource, so SWOT analysis should be used together with other methods. Overall, it not only helps us understand the problem, but also helps us make better decisions and move towards more equal education system. Thank you.
Okay, that's all of our presentation of the group mellow. Thank you for your watch. Have a good day.